why I decided to quit my 9 to 5 job and why I decided to create my life that I envision. So, I'm going to start at the very beginning before I took this job. Before I decided to take this job, I was very much working on projects that I wanted to work on that I felt in my soul was the right path I was taking and that I was going to be able to make a certain level of impact in people's lives through the work I was doing. And now when I look back, I know that the work I was doing was important to me, but it was not the way I was going to be able to make an impact in people's lives. And that is what I'm hoping to do with this channel is to really make a positive and big impact in people's lives. I really want to share my story because I feel like it's important for you watching this that you get a sense of where I'm coming from and that you know that I'm really, really just like you. And I just decided to take a leap of faith to invest in myself and to share what I know and to share where I'm coming from in order to be able to help you where you're at right now and to let you know that no matter how low you get or how much you struggle, that you should never ever give up on yourself because there's always, always a light at the end of the tunnel, even if you can't see it. You are that light at the end of the tunnel. You are the one that creates that light at the end of the tunnel. Now, I forced myself and I pressured myself to look for this job that I took that left me traumatized, lacking in self confidence, lacking in self belief, that left me feeling so low in myself that I was contemplating things that I never, ever, ever, ever in my life contemplated, ever. And I knew that this place was not for me because it was causing me to deteriorate mentally, physically, emotionally, just taking everything out of me. And you would think that this job was something where I had to do like a lot of work and tasks, but no, it was very monotonous and it was a very monotonous and boring type of job. But the main reason why it took so much out of me was because of the company culture and the toxic work environment, the toxic work culture. Oh, it was so toxic. It was so, 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 so toxic. I would never, ever, if you know me in person, I will never, ever recommend anyone to go work there, ever. It's not an environment that will allow you to thrive as a person. Even if it doesn't help you grow as a person, it's not going to help you thrive in who you are presently. The it only took away from me, and the only benefit of that job or that place was the money that it was giving me. And even then, that came to a point where I was having issues with that, and it no longer motivated me. Not that it even motivated me from the beginning, but it just became like, what is this money that you're even giving me? Like, I don't even want it anymore. They can keep it. And the way everything unfolded and unraveled to the point where I did leave that company was so unexpected and so beautiful the way the universe chose to align my stars, my life, to that moment in my life. I was planning to leave, and I had a plan in place to leave, but the time at when I left was unexpected to me. It's my life, and I planned it, and it didn't happen like I planned it. What had happened was that they had offered me a permanent contract because I was working there on a temporary contract. And 2 weeks before I decided, or like the week before I decided to hand in my notice, the Thursday, they offered me a permanent contract in paper. They had already told me that they were going to offer me a permanent contract a few weeks before, but I didn't take it seriously. I saw the email and I replied it, but I just didn't take it seriously because I either thought it was already in place and I didn't have to do anything, or I just didn't take it seriously enough, or I just didn't care, to be honest. I honestly did not care. So I kind of just brushed it off. And when my supervisor came to me, that's when I took it seriously because I was like, oh, you guys are actually offering me a permanent contract. And that's when I had to really think, am I going to actually sign this contract and then leave? They did not even deserve, that company did not deserve me even thinking about them in that way, that I considered, you know, I'm just going to sign this permanent contract and I'm going to leave. But because of who I am, the values that I uphold for myself, and the standard I set for myself, I just didn't feel right doing that. And even more so, I didn't feel right signing that contract because it just, every fiber of my being, everything within me was telling me that you should not sign that, because I felt like I was going to be signing a part of myself away, and I had already given all of myself. I had already shut myself down, my voice down, what I believed in down, all for a paycheck. I had already been treated so badly, traumatized. I left that place definitely traumatized, and it definitely left a mark on me in a very negative way that I will never forget that experience. And I have learned so much from it that I will never let that kind of thing happen ever to me. There were so many red signs, warnings, flags, whatever you want to call it. I would never ever recommend anyone to work there ever. But they offered me a permanent contract, and I denied it. To say the least, I denied it, and or I didn't accept it. And I had asked them a couple of questions to get a clear picture of what my future could look like in the company if I did decide to sign the permanent contract. Because I did not want to go into this blindly, because like I did when I first started in the company. So I was considering to sign the permanent contract, and I wanted to see if they could give me a good enough reason to sign the contract. Red flags, red flags, red flags. I listened to everything they had to say, and all the answers they gave me were terrible. They were, I could just smell the deception. I could smell that they were trying to sell me a picture of a company that I knew they weren't, and that they were trying to tell me that they were. I had worked there for over a year, and I knew what kind of company I was working in. So I wanted to see what they would say. So sad. It is so, so, so sad. If you guys want a more detailed video on my experience, I can do that video. But that's as far as I'm going to go in detail in this video. When I was working there, I wanted more for myself. I knew why I went in there and I had a purpose for why I went in there, but I kind of lost my way and I was kind of blinded by the money I was getting there. I became lazy, complacent. I became who I knew I wasn't. And so I decided to get a coach. The way it happened was also unexpected. I didn't just decide I wanted a coach. I knew I was looking for someone who could mentor me, but I wasn't looking for them. I just stumbled upon them in a Facebook group that I was a part of. And I am so grateful that I came across her in that group because if I didn't come across her in that group, have I never would have I wouldn't be where I am today. I just would not. And the things that I learned, the lessons, the realizations, the awareness that I am at now is mind boggling because I had started a business when I was 21. Right now I'm 24. And I let my limiting beliefs discourage me from scaling my business to where I know it would be today. And that business could have been way more successful than it was if I chose to believe in myself. And I chose to encourage myself and I chose to know that what I'm doing here is bigger than what I am and what I see myself as. But I didn't have the tools, I didn't have the mindset, I didn't have the growth mindset, as Donna would say. And now I have the tools, now I have the growth mindset to carry myself um, in my life and to whatever venture or project I decide to do with my life going forward. I did a 3-month program with her, and I'm so glad that it lasted way longer than 3 months because I needed her more than 3 months. I'm still working with her up till now. I think we started working together um in November last year or October, one of those months. And we are working together up to now, but of course we're coming to the end of it and I'm so so super grateful to her. She deserves the moon and the stars because she decided to share her information and make it available to people. So again, I'll leave that in the description box if you guys want to work with her. I believe if you have a vision that you should share it with the world because if you die with that vision, then you leave the world as it is or worse. Um, you You, I'm trying to think of the word, you leave the world not knowing what could have been. And that is one of the biggest regrets that people have in their deathbeds. And I promised myself when I was younger that I would never live a life of regrets or what ifs or what could have been if. I mean, that's the number one thing that people have or talk about on their deathbed. And when I'm 90 years old, I want to be able to look back and know that I was courageous enough to walk along fear because I do things with fear in my heart, but I do it anyways. And I chose to live the life that I wanted despite the energies, the vibes, the opinions that try to pull me down or that I feel are trying to pull me down. And I chose to press on forward and be free and be who I am. And to be honest, that's all I know how to do is to be who I am. And this year I just decided that that's all I can be is who I am. Um, I don't know how else to be. And I'm chose this year to allow myself to just be who I am and be okay with that because I have been a person that has tried to be everything else but myself to please other people. I'm still working on that. I'm still working on that. It can be hard for me to be vulnerable, to share my experiences, but this year it's going to be different, and I'm going to do the best I can to be who I am. I want to free my true self because I know the potential that I have. I can feel the potential I have, and I know that you can too. And it's not that it's going to be easy to do that, even though you can feel it within yourself and you can feel it within the moment, but you have to do it. You must do it because who knows what that could bring for other people's lives that come across you as your authentic, true, unique self, and what that could bring for you. What experiences, what situations, what encounters that could bring for you. What unimaginable things you could experience. I say this all to say that I am coming from a place of faith in the universe, belief in the universe. I don't know what this journey is going to bring for me, but I'm choosing to do it because I tried to do it before and I gave up. But this time I am coming back with a vengeance and I am coming back with the belief and the faith and the self encouragement because I will encourage myself. I will lift myself up when there is no one to lift me up. And I'm coming with all of that. Yes, I am. So that is it for today. And I hope you found this helpful. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.